I'm new here. Well, I guess just to introduce myself, let me just give you a preamble to explain where we are first. Hello and welcome to Denver Today, the show where we break down your local headlines and why they matter. Live from KUHS Radio, your home for independent media in the 80216. Today is Wednesday, January 21st. I'm your host, your very humble host. I'm new here, I can recognize that. My name is Luis Bustos. Thank you for tuning in. Feel free to reach out to us through TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook and give us a follow to stay in the loop because we are going to do a lot of new special things with this show, okay? So, I guess I should mention this first. This episode is brought to you by Inspire Success Coaching and Consulting. A little bit more on them here in just a few minutes. All right, y'all. I guess I should talk a little bit about myself, introduce myself just a little bit. Hello, my name is Luis. I am a journalist here in Denver, Colorado. I went to MSU Denver. Well, I fought for my life at MSU Denver trying to earn that degree, and I did. Shout out to everyone else that did it. It's tough, it's tough. No shade if you didn't. It's hard out here. I just wanted to come by and introduce myself real quick before we get into the news. I can explain a little bit about this show if you want to hear. Oh, looks like we got a little someone in the audience. Hello, hello. Let me kind of explain a little bit about what our show is. So basically, I took my time yesterday and I looked at all the publications in Denver last week. I looked at what we were doing, what was happening, and I saw that there were big headlines and other ones that weren't quite getting as much attention. So my job is to bring you the headlines you might have missed. So with that being said, let's just get into it. I know this is going to be a big headline, I can already tell, but there was an article that came out this morning from KDVR written by Jason Lover. He basically pointed out that Colorado is actually ranked 20th in the country for traffic congestion, up 4 from last year, which is, let's go for top 10. I'm just kidding. I've seen it. Everyone else can notice it too in the city. If you've been in the city for a minute, the traffic has gotten exponentially worse. But I will say this though, just remember this, Denver, if you're ever having a bad day of traffic, just know that it's relative for what that's worth. I moved here from the Western Slope, and I remember my first time driving. I came in on I-70, right? I came into Denver, and I turned onto Colfax trying to get to my little apartment at the time. And I'm not kidding, I had to pull off the road because I was basically having an anxiety attack because of how bad the driving is here in Denver. So if you're warranted to complain, is what I'm trying to say. It's tough out here, and just hold the rage back. Be responsible. That car's expensive. The one you either want to rear end or the one that you're driving. Okay, so let's keep it demure. Let's keep it respectful on the roads, Denver. But you're not crazy. It is getting worse. There is proof. With that being said, let's kind of get into our first story. This story is going to be a little bit of a bigger one. I can already tell. Let me just get into it, and I'll give you what's going on. A woman accused at Union Station bus terminal stabbing allegedly talked about puncturing victim's heart, affidavit says. So this was actually broken by Oscar Contreras at Denver 7 News. I'll give you a little brief rundown of the article. An arrest affidavit obtained by Denver 7 provides new details about a seemingly unprovoked stabbing at the Union Station bus terminal in downtown Denver late Sunday night. Police say 36-year-old Nicola Green was pacing inside a terminal appearing to look for someone who wasn't paying attention before sitting next to the victim. According to witnesses and surveillance video, Green then pulled a knife from her pocket and stabbed the woman multiple times in the chest and leg. As the victim tried to move away, Green allegedly continued attempting to stab her before RTD officials intervened and held Green at gunpoint until police arrived. Court documents say Green later made spontaneous statements while in custody, admitting to stabbing and talking about puncturing the heart. The victim was then taken to Denver Health with multiple stab wounds and is expected to survive. Green is now facing assault charges and is being held on a $50,000 cash-only bond. So, let's just kind of take a second to reel it in. First, I want to say that my condolences are with the victim and their family. I'm thankful that she is in a stable condition at the hospital. Let's just say that, and this is really scary. Denver, like Union Station is the biggest transit station in Denver, right? Arguably in Colorado, and to see something like that, it's so close to home. It's really scary for a lot of people. I just want to say, be aware of where you are, who's around you, what's going on. It's not, and I'm not saying this so that the person that was the victim can feel bad about it. It's not about that. I'm just saying we are in a city, and I say this with love. Keep an eye out. And if you have a friend, everyone has like a family member or a weird uncle or somebody that like you're not sure if they're kind of going through something, just check in on the people around you, y'all. I don't know how this could have been prevented, but just know that we are rooting for the recovery. I did do a little research and I could not find a GoFundMe, but I will keep an eye out on it and I'll report to you back on Friday, okay? I promise. So for our next story, Colorado lawmakers donate blood to address critical statewide shortage. This is actually written by Brian Sherrod at CBS News. I'm sorry, Brian Sherrod. Make sure I pronounce your name correctly, sir. So, yesterday, Colorado lawmakers donated blood at the Capitol as part of a push to address a severe nationwide blood shortage. The effort coincides with General Assembly officially recognizing January as National Blood Donor Month for the first time. Members of the House and Senate are participating in a friendly competition to encourage donations, while blood organizations stress the urgent need, especially for type O blood and platelets, which are critical for trauma victims, surgery, and cancer patients. So this is actually a cause that's very close to my heart. This is kind of the part where I explain why it matters. This is arguably more subjective, right? However, donating blood is something that helps everyone, you know, from seniors to veterans to kids to you and me, you know, people in their 20s, 30s, whatever. I'm not going to tell you my age. And yeah, so let me kind of break down how this works. I know that donating blood is really scary for a lot of people. For me too, I hate shots, y'all. There's a reason I'm not on Ozempic, okay? I don't like needles, let's be for real. So, a blood draw typically takes about an hour. They go in and they'll give you like a little snack and some Gatorade, and you just kind of donate blood. And that helps for about, give or take, 2.5 days, based on my understanding. I'm not a doctor. But what you can do is you can donate a platelet, which takes about 2 to 3 hours, and that actually can support a patient for up to a week, based on my understanding. So donate more if you can. You just can't donate platelets as often as blood. Makes sense, right? Basically, just do what you can to help your community. This is something that you can do right now, especially if you feel like with what's happening in Minnesota and what's happening in our country right now in general. If you feel like there's nothing you can do, this is something that you can do that, of course, it's scary, it comes with needles, right? But you can help your community. You can help your neighbors in a way that you can help, right? I don't know how else to say it, but it's a really scary time. I know that I have a lot of friends that have reached out to me about feeling helpless and powerless, but what you can do is help your community. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Hey, y'all, thanks for tuning in. We're here at Denver Headlines today. We're talking about news you might have missed here in Denver. On to our next story. This one I thought was really cute. Firefighters rescue dogs stranded on thin ice at Chatfield Dog Park. This was actually written by Vicente Arenas. We love Vicente here. He's a journalist over at KDVR. But let me tell you this story. This is actually pretty interesting. Firefighters with South Metro Fire Rescue were called to Chatfield Dog Park in Littleton after a dog became stranded on thin ice near one of the ponds. Video shared with Fox 31 shows rescuers arriving and using specialized insulated waterproof suit to reach the dog and guide it safely back to shore. The dog was reportedly stuck for about 15 feet from land. South Metro Fire says they've handled similar rescues before and warned that this winter's fluctuating temperature, freezing overnight, and warming up during the day can create especially dangerous ice conditions and may look solid but break easily. So, I don't know who. Hello, welcome. I don't know some context if you're not from Denver. Chatfield Park in Littleton is like one of those places where you can take your dog and it can be off collar, so they can just go run around, get some exercise, whatever. This is great for like apartment dogs, right? But y'all, just be careful. What this article is saying, be careful with what's going on, because due to the changing temperatures, literally, some person could have lost their dog. This is pretty serious in that sense, but I'm glad everything's okay. Just a reminder for you and your loved ones, your little furry loved ones, keep them within eyesight, at least, if you're one of these dog parks. Personally, not for me. My dog's a little weirdo, so he doesn't like. Oh, thank you so much for sharing this. Sorry, back to what I was saying. My dog's a weirdo. He doesn't like going outside. Anyway, also a little pro tip. My vet told me, if it's super cold and you don't have little dog booties, you could put Vaseline on their little dog paws, and that helps just a little bit. So, let's just kind of keep it pushing. This is a wonderful story. This next one. It was actually broken by Rachel Cross at 9 News Denver. So Denver Public Schools hits milestone graduation rate at 2024-2025 school year. So let me give you a brief explanation. With the numbers, that's what we care about, is education. Colorado high school graduation rate has climbed to 85%, the highest level in more than a decade, according to new state data. Denver Public Schools is also seeing a major milestone, reaching a record graduation rate of nearly 82% in the 24-25 school year. DPS Superintendent Dr. Alex Marrero says the district has made steady progress since the mid-70s after COVID, and compared to older data showing graduation rates as low as 38% in the past. Leaders at schools like North High say the improvement comes from focusing on the students early, especially in 9th grade, and using supports like credit recovery, Saturday school, summer school, and office hours to keep students on track. School staff emphasize the goal isn't just boosting numbers, but making sure every student has a real path to a diploma and a brighter future. So, this is awesome. Congratulations to all of the students that have been working hard. Oh, thank you so much, Molly. We got a little audience here. Feel free to ask questions. I can look more into certain stories. I can move on from one if you think it's really dumb. I want to work with all of you. So let's kind of get into it. Why this is important. This is kind of a, I guess for ironic phrasing, this is kind of a no-brainer. If you graduate high school, you're more likely to go to college. You're more likely to get a stable job. You're more likely to do a lot more things in your life than if you don't. The way I see it, graduation, and this is, I guess, this is more for my reasoning. I don't have any kids, right? But graduation's like the general admissions. If you can't prove that you can take on the commitment, do something as simple as that, and I know it's not simple for everyone, I get it, but just focus on school. And I guess if you're a parent, what this means is that your kid might go to summer school. Leverage that. Get them in the classroom. Tell them their school's not going to let them fail, but it's also not going to let them have a Saturday. It's not going to let them have a summer, and it is what it is. So, but let's move on to the next story. We have just one more story before we have to kind of cut to a little bit of a break. So, this is an exciting one. Red Rocks announces 2026 venue upgrades after record-breaking 2025 season. This was broken by Emily Ferguson at Westward. Red Rocks Amphitheater is coming off a record-breaking 2025 season and is planning major improvements for 2026, its 85th year. This venue hosted more than 1.75 million attendees across the 236 events and earned top national rankings for attendance. I don't need to give you more. Red Rocks is awesome. I'm not surprised that it's breaking these kind of records and that they're remodeling. Basically, they're going to install and I'm just going to give you, this is just a fun article, so I'm just going to give you my understanding of it. They're going to install a merch booth that's like built into the mountain, I guess, for lack of a better word. It's going to be super interesting from what I've seen of it. And anyone that's been to Red Rocks, for context of those who haven't, Red Rocks is basically like this little tiny venue. And it's not tiny, it's big enough, right? But it's like built into Colorado. It was here before any of us were here, and we just kind of refined it and we use it because we love live music. It is a wonderful venue. I don't know if you ever get the chance to go, you should go. Funny story though, actually, little fun fact, I guess you could say. My first concert was at Red Rocks, and I went to go see Lana Del Rey and Courtney Love. That was incredible. If you are, tell me, what was your first Red Rocks concert? Especially if you're from Denver. Oh yes, we got some hearts for Courtney Love and Lana Del Rey. We love that. So, with that being said, let's kind of take a minute, because I also want to talk about, in the sense that we love culture and the news, I also want to show you a little bit of Denver art. This is an incredible song that has actually been on my radar lately from the incredible Bunny Blake. I've seen her live twice here in Denver. She's a local musician, and she is very talented. Let me show you a little bit of her music. There we go. So right now we're kind of in a commercial break. This is our first episode, y'all, so I think it's really fun. Stuff is going wrong, but stuff's also going right. That's how we move forward, y'all. Oh, we just got a message from the audience. The audience, I say, is my best friend. But yes, I'll call you right after the show. I should definitely have you on. Give us a call. You don't even have to come into the studio. We can just talk about the news. What's everybody up to today? I'm not kidding, y'all. This Bunny Blake woman is incredible. I saw her live twice, and she has like this energy. Like it's like reminds me of when like Britney Spears was like walked out with the giant snake at the VMAs. Like that's how it feels when Bunny grabs that microphone. Like if you are in Denver, I really recommend seeing her. There's a lot of cameras in here. Any thoughts on 4 day school weekends back to the. Wait, what was that? So, any thoughts on 4 day school weeks back to the graduation rate? Hmm, that's actually a really good theory. I honestly think it's what probably. Look, I'm not a doctor and I don't have any kids, but I think it'd be good to have more time to where your kids could pursue stuff outside of education, especially if they're doing well in school. You know, why wouldn't you want your kids doing like literally more enriching stuff? Especially when so much school these days is just so focused. Oh, there's one more song we still have. Just a minute. Um, so, sorry, get back to what I was saying. No, seriously though, because I feel like so much of school these days is just math and science, and like you've got to teach these kids how to do art and how to communicate effectively, and you can't do that with just numbers and math. Like, let's be for real. Like, hey Sarah, welcome. We're here just talking about the Denver headlines here in Denver, Colorado. But if there's any kind of like story that you guys want me to focus on, that would be up to do it. Um, the goal right now is I'm gonna give you these reports twice a week, and then I'm gonna be working on more independent, full-size stories for web. So I'm gonna be posting those on here and the KUHS page. It's gonna be super fun. Um, hey Yaz XOXO 96. Hey, welcome 7XEL. We've got about a couple minutes left on this song. What's our next story? Oh yeah, there's been illegal drug sales in Denver. This is actually gonna be a really interesting story once we get to it. We're almost there. We're almost there. Do I look official, y'all? I got a haircut today, and I feel like I look like George Washington. I'm like George Washington maxing. Oh. We're about to come back in. We're only gonna have about 10 minutes left. I way over prepared for this show. I don't think we're moving as fast as I thought we could, but that's okay. That's okay. We will be back Friday with any more stories we might have missed. Oh, thank you, Yaz. This is by Bunny Blake here in Denver, Colorado. I met her, I want to say 2 months ago. Who is watching me? Who is watching me? I just got a photo of my own screen. All right, y'all. And we're back. We're back here. So, welcome back to Denver Today, your soon-to-be favorite source to stay in the loop for all things Denver. I'm your host, Luis Bustos. Special thanks to Inspire Success in Coaching and Consulting for sponsoring this episode. So, this is an interesting story because Denver loves drugs. I'm just gonna lay it out for you and be real blunt with you. Denver loves drugs, and I say that in the sense that Denver loves people having the autonomy to do whatever they want, and we love that. We support Denver doing whatever Denver wants to do. But this story is actually really interesting. So, Denver warns of illegal I'm going to butcher some words in here. This is a very sciencey article. Hey, Diego. Denver warns of illegal psilocybin chocolates being sold at gas stations and smoke shops. This is actually broken by Tiny Riccardi at the Denver Post. Denver officials are warning residents about psychedelic chocolate bars being sold illegally at local gas stations and smoke shops. Tests on products from a brand called Polka Dot confirm the presence of psilocybin, psilocin, and synthetic hallucinogen compounds. While psilocybin is decriminalized in Colorado for personal use and cultivation, selling it remains illegal. The city says this Products pose a threat to safety risk due to inconsistent labeling and lack of regulation, and is urging residents to avoid buying them and report sightings to authorities. So, like I said, I really support Denver being able to do whatever they want. If you wanna, if you want to do drugs and smoke weed all day, you can do whatever you want. Um, but basically, just keep an eye out, y'all. I don't want you to buy something and hurt yourself and have everyone around you be miserable. Let's just keep it real. Like, um, I'm not gonna give you a story that I should give you for the sake of that. But with that being said, keep an eye out. Don't buy any weird pills with rhinos on them at the gas station. Let's be honest, friends. Um, I don't know if we have time for like maybe one or two more stories. Let me just kind of blaze through this, okay? So, lawsuit alleges Denver polluted Adams County water provider with PFAS forever chemicals. This was broken by Kyle Harris, the Denverite. The South Adams County Water and Sanitation District has filed a federal lawsuit alleging PFAS contamination in Denver's fire training facility at 5440 Roslyn Street. The lawsuit claims firefighting foam used during training containing PFAS forever chemicals has leaked into the soil, surface water, and groundwater containing the district's water supply. The district says the first detected PFAS in 2018 has since spent tens of millions on treatment and importing water, including buying more water from Denver Metro to dilute contamination. While the district says the water remains safe for domestic use, it argues the cost of keeping it safe has become a major burden. The district is also building a new PFAS treatment facility, the $80 million Clean Enhancement Project, which will be used. Okay, let me just break it down for you in a more simple way. The Denver Fire Department was training firefighters, and they used this foam that basically got into the water and it polluted stuff in a very large scale. And the issue now is that guess who's going to have to pay for it? The city of Denver. And who is that? That's me and you. So this is a very interesting story that you should keep an eye out these next few months because this could impact all of us. So with that being said, let's just move on to the next story. I really want to get to this next one before the show ends. So Colorado to pay $6.1 million over an attempt to ban abortion pill reversal. This was broken by John Ingold at the Colorado Sun. This story is going to be huge. I'm telling you this right now. Colorado will pay $6.1 million to two religious rights organizations to settle a legal battle over a 2023 state law that attempted a ban on so-called abortion pill reversal. The law, backed by Democrats, was aimed at stopping clinics from promoting or providing the practice which supporters claim can reverse a medicated abortion after someone takes the first pill. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to give you medical advice. What I will say is there wasn't a significant amount of research done on this pill to basically prove its effectiveness. You could call it pseudoscience, is what you could argue. However, the state of Colorado didn't have the right to impede on this organization's religious belief, is what I'm understanding. This is a very complicated case. But what I wanted to let you know about it though is that we are looking at another $6.1 million lawsuit. And when it comes to abortion, I just want to say this. You don't have the right to tell somebody else what to do with their body. It's that simple. You can't tell someone they can't have a cookie because you're on a diet. It's that simple, you know. And I think anybody that is trying to control people does with their body is just weird. I think it's inappropriate, and I respect your right to have or not have a baby. You can have 500 babies. It's your right. But with that being said, I'm going to keep an eye on this story, and I would like to bring on somebody from both sides to kind of talk about this more in depth, because this is honestly, specifically being a man, this is definitely out of my range of understanding. But yes, just keep an eye out because that is definitely coming, and I'm going to bring on somebody from both sides, and hopefully I can mediate without getting hit in the face. But with that being said, I think we have time for one more little story. Yes, I think we do. Yes, we do. This is actually, oh my gosh, we did make it to the last segment. This is exciting. So this is the fun segment. I know we've covered a lot of stuff today, and we kind of had to rush through a little bit of it, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about what's happening this weekend. So happening through Sunday, the National Western Stock Show at the it's at the National Western Complex. Tickets start at $32. This is if you love cowboys, bulls, cowgirls, those hats. I'm sure they have really good beer. It's Colorado, of course they have really good beer. So go check that out. Tickets start at $30. This is a really fun thing. Like, this is a fun date night, especially if you're like a couple that's like used to being in the house a lot. Like, you can just go out there, just be in a whole nother world. The next one, oh my God, I'm gonna hurry. We're gonna run out of time. So I'm gonna butcher this. I'm sorry, no disrespect. Horizon of Khufu, Journey to Ancient Egypt at New York Street Yards in Denver. This is super cool. So it's a virtual reality visit to the Great Pyramid of Giza, and you get to witness the embalming of Pharaoh Khufu, and a lot more. And it's like this whole VR digital thing. It's super, super cool, super modern. Denver did something recently like this too with, I think it was a visit Venezuela. Um, but yeah, it's this super cool technology, and go out there. This is also a really fun date night. Tickets are about $30 per person, and this last one, I like to include a family one on here. And Dinos Alive, an immersive experience exhibition hub art center Denver for families. This one kind of had a weird name, but just Google Dinos Alive in Denver. So it's basically like a life-size dino exhibition, and like I really want to go, but we'll get to that in a second. So it's basically a life-size dino exhibition where you can go. This is great for families, right? So you can take your kids, they can see the animatronics, and you can kind of learn a little bit. What's really fun about this one though is that there is a family discount ticket pricing. So if you buy 3 tickets for 2 parents and a kid, that's at $14 a ticket. I think that's a pretty good deal. It's cheaper than the movies, I'll tell you that. But I want to go, and this is my kind of gripe with stuff like this. I don't, I don't have any kids, y'all. For example, I really want to go to this, but what if there's just little kids there? It's like the same way I really want to go to Disney World, but I don't want to be like the guy that's just like, but I want to go see the roller coasters and I mean Mickey and stuff, but I don't have any kids, so I feel like that's weird. Maybe I'll borrow a nephew or niece. Is that Mariana? Oh my gosh, how are you, Miss Mariana? Welcome to the show. We just wrapped up, unfortunately. That was our last little bit of information. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for everyone who tuned in. We are going to head back to our regularly scheduled programming.